Hello everyone, today we are breaking down the episode 5 trailer for House of the Dragon Season 2, but before that remember to like the video, helps out the channel a lot, and subscribe, and yada yada yada, let's get to it. First thing we see is Alicent and Aemond watching as they bring the head of Meleys through the streets of King's Landing. Meleys was Rhaenys' dragon, and of course both died in episode 4. A slain dragon is a big deal. These things are seen as gods more than normal beings. So to have killed one shows these small folk like, hey, we're winning this thing. We took out one of the Black's larger dragons and one of their more experienced riders. This will also get some of the other High Lords on their side, because this was a big victory for the Greens, and of course, no one wants to be on the losing side. As they carry the head through the streets, we hear it being said that King Aegon was the one who slew the beast. So this is propaganda. They are propping up King Aegon. It reinforces his legitimacy to sit the Iron Throne. He has killed a dragon. Only a true Targaryen king could do something like that. Now, it will be interesting to see if Criston Cole, or anybody for that matter, call out Aemond for what he did to Aegon, cause he kinda tried to kill him. But it didn't work. We see some Hightower men carrying this box. Aegon is inside of this. He is really badly burned because of what Aemond did, and they don't want these small folk to see him in this weakened state. They want to prop him up. You know, he is a dragon slayer, because if people found out how badly Aegon is hurt, then some lords may be like, well, let's just have Rhaenyra rule. She's still sound of mind. And Aegon is in no state to rule anything. And some of them probably heard what happened at Rook's Rest, and would prefer not to be in a battle with dragons anymore. We are now with the Black Council. Rhaenyra says they cannot challenge King's Landing without the Riverlands. They lost most of the Crownlands with Criston Cole going to each house the last few weeks and causing them to surrender. So they really don't have many fighting men. They have about 2,000 Northmen that will join them when they can, and House Arryn has backed them as well. But they don't have a lot of resources like the Lannisters and the Hightowers who are backing the Greens. So without the Riverlands, they really don't stand a chance against the Greens. They don't have the men. We are now with Daemon on top of his dragon Caraxes in the Riverlands, trying to recruit them to join the war. But is he trying to get them to support Rhaenyra's claim, or his own? He is meeting with House Bracken. We can tell this by the sigil they are flying, a red stallion on a golden field. Daemon is telling them to bend the knee to him, or their house burns. So basically, he is giving them no choice, because House Bracken has no way of fighting off a dragon. Now, Daemon has gained House Blackwood as an ally last episode, and the Brackens and the Blackwoods hate each other. So Daemon seems to be trying to do the impossible, getting these two to fight together on the same side. The reason he wants these two is because they are men of action. They want to fight. They had a battle a few episodes ago that kind of dealt with the succession with Rhaenyra and Aegon, but also kind of not. So they already have their armies ready to go. Daemon won't have to wait. We're at Heron Hall and we see that they have some scaffolding up trying to repair the castle. Daemon is making this his home base. He wants to make sure it can be defended if the Greens ever decide to try and attack. Larys Strong said this as much when speaking to Aegon about it at the small council meeting last episode. That Heron Hall is in disarray, like it's really not worth holding at the moment. The only benefit it serves Daemon right now is that it is in the Riverlands. Like if the Greens wanted to take Heron Hall, they could take it. We see Daemon sleeping and a voice calling out to him, saying, "You were made to wear a crown." So this is the curse of Heron Hall. The ghosts that live in the castle feeding off his deepest desires. Cause let's be honest, Daemon does think this. And the castle knows that. Is this like a Stephen King's Shining situation we have here? I don't know, to be honest. Does Harrenhal want to see more bloodshed? Because if Daemon made his own claim for the throne, there would definitely be more bloodshed. Perhaps this is Black Heron speaking, the man Aegon the Conqueror burned alive in the castle, trying to convince Daemon to do this because it will lead to the end of the Targaryen line? Once again, don't know. There are a lot of questions I have about this, and I'm hoping to get answers next Sunday. We're now at a Greens small council meeting, Aegon obviously not being there. We hear Otto Hightower speaking, so maybe he got invited back since Aegon's accident. Otto says that the king does not lack for heirs, so I'm guessing the Greens are talking about the succession plan if Aegon dies of his wounds. who will rule after him. He does have one child, but it's a girl, which was like half the reason they didn't want Rhaenyra ruling, so if it's not his daughter, then it would be the next eldest brother, so Aemond, which Aemond knew, which is why he did what he did. In the next shot, we see Criston Cole and Alicent speaking with one another. Criston says they have given the war to the dragons. Will you preside over it? So Criston saw what dragons can do in a battle, the destruction they can cause. It doesn't matter how well thought of a plan you have, those things can wreck it in an instant. The dragons will decide the war now. In the next shot, we see Vermax, Jacaerys' dragon, overlooking the Twins, which is the seat of House Frey. Jace is there treating with Lord Frey, hoping to get them to join their side. As Rhaenyra said earlier, they need the Riverlands, and House Frey is in the Riverlands. And they are a good-sized house, so they'll have a good amount of fighting men. Jace is probably pretty mad about this as well. He wants to fight, to go to battle. He does not want to be an envoy to try and get these houses to join the Blacks. But his mother knows this is a good way to keep him safe, which is why she's making him do it. In the next shot, we see Aemond staring at the Iron Throne. If Aegon dies, it is all his. This is kind of what he's been waiting for his whole life. He will be the second son no longer. He will not be overlooked, he will be king of the Seven Kingdoms. And honestly, I think he would be a pretty good king. I think his scene in the small council chamber in episode 4 proved that. He spoke High Valyrian fluently, and Aegon, of course, could barely say a sentence. Like, he has been preparing for this all of his life. He definitely deserves it more than Aegon, that's for sure. We see Mysaria speaking with Rhaenyra, saying that the people are whispering when Viserys lived there was peace. So Mysaria is Rhaenyra's spy master now. She is the master of whisperers. Mysaria goes on to say how there is more than one way to fight a war. And then we see a riot happening in King's Landing. We have seen this riot in previous trailers as well. So Mysaria is spreading some rumors and propaganda in King's Landing to cause an uproar with the small folk. This will obviously cause some problems for the Greens. Now they have to deal with keeping the peace as well as continuing the war effort. We get a quick couple of shots here. We see a House Bracken Knight turn his back on Caraxes and Daemon, so it seems like he has decided to burn instead of fighting with the Blackwoods, and he is about to get executed. We also see Rhaenyra knock off the House Staunton piece off the painted table, since they were more or less destroyed during the Battle of Rook's Rest. And the last thing we hear is Criston saying, "What we must do now is terrible." So maybe Criston is having some second thoughts about this whole thing, because he knows the kind of destruction and death those dragons can cause. He is realizing that he and all the other major players in this Targaryen civil war have plunged the realm into chaos, and now people will die terrible and fiery deaths just because of what he and the others have done. And that is the end of the trailer. What did you think of it? Leave it down in the comments below, and if you want more House of the Dragon content, please subscribe and like the video. Check out the Twitter link in the description below, and as always, have an awesome day.